with this. I cannot deal with this person.
No, she said she would do it.
Oh, God. All right. Here we go. Live events.
Yay!
Oh, we're here. We're here, Catherine.
Hooray!
I did it. I had to just shut it down.
Can I stay in here?
And restart it. The computer. Nothing was working. And y'all were talking, and I'm like, it's Pat DeChico. Pat DeChico. So, hey, Embry. Prayer does work, right? You can stay in here if you don't talk. Don't look at me. Don't. My daughter. I will be. I am so sorry. And thank y'all for coming back. I appreciate it. I restarted it. Angelo messaged me and said, you getting it fixed? And I said, if throwing a fit like a fat baby is getting it fixed, yeah, I'm doing it right now. So, all right, guys, yay.
I'm going to tweet it.
Tawana, thank you. Angelo, I threw a fit and cried and it came on. After I shut it down, threatened to throw it in the yard, threatened to divorce my husband, and give my children up for adoption. I was really mad. But now I love everyone.
So I threw a sponge at you.
Yeah, my daughter was handing me a sponge. I said, I'm throwing this thing. My daughter said, here, throw the sponge. I'm like, get the damn sponge out of my face. We left sponge mode a long time ago. Right, Angela? I'm telling you. Oh, thank you, everyone, for coming back. Poor Uber heard me telling my husband to fix it, and it just wasn't happening.
Aww.
But I'm back. Where did we leave off? Where do we leave off?
We were just discussing the series.
Well, we're gonna start this now. 13 people, I don't give a shit. Thank y'all for coming back. I heard you say that she didn't want to be an actress, she wanted to be a teacher. And then I'm trying to go back through all that. Did you know how her brother died?
Oh.
Have y'all heard that story? She had an older brother. And they went on vacation, like, thank you everybody for coming back. They went on vacation, like, out to a farm, right? To visit friends. So her older brother was playing with some, like, farm kids, and they kept calling him like a city kid. So they told him to sit on the conveyor that dumps the grain into silos. And he was on it, right? And they thought he knew to jump off. But he got all the way to the top, and they were like, jump off. And he couldn't move. So he fell into it and was shredded.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine?
That's horrible.
Isn't it horrible?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I read that, and I'm like, dude, how do you even? Because I never thought of better parents. You lose one child like that, and then you lose your daughter. You know, that war mother was batshit crazy anyway, but, well, is she batshit? I don't know if she was batshit. She might not have been. I don't know. And so we talked about her husband, right? Her first husband, Pat DeChico. Did we?
Yeah.
All right, he was an agent slash, God, he was a little bit of everything, but he was nothing but do you know he also married Gloria Vanderbilt?
No.
Pat DeChico?
I did read that.
Yeah, and he beat the hell out of her, too.
Beat her.
Wow.
He married Gloria Vanderbilt. She was so young.
Yeah.
So this guy was a piece of crap. Mobster. So, and then I heard y'all talking about did Lucky Luciano and her have an affair. It's like a rumor that they had a 2-year affair.
Right.
A rumor. Now, I don't know. I mean, I wrote down rumors because there's a lot of rumors. And then I've lost all my websites, but supposedly the night she went to this party on the 14th of December, Uh, Ronald, no, not Ronald. What the hell's that dude named Roland?
Roland, yeah.
Roland, right. She was having an affair with him too. And I had all of the pictures of their apartment. Because if you look on these things, it's very hard to do, like when you look at the cafe itself, and I invite y'all all to go look at it because I had them all loaded up, but it just did not work out. It's gone now. There's the cafe, the bottom floor, which is the cafe. Then there's a second floor on top that she turned into a steakhouse / upscale restaurant. And then there's like a octagon room on top of that. I did not realize that everywhere I looked said that octagon room was her apartment.
Yes.
But I thought it can't be because they had separate, they had one apartment, but they had the dividing door, the partition. So I went and looked at another thing, and it showed me, no, it's not that. It was like and I wish I could try to pull it up again, but I'm afraid what will happen. Their apartment was actually over to the side. So she went to this party. She got drunk. He told her, don't you get drunk and don't you come home late. And she was like, yeah. And so she got home, or she got to that party, right? And Pat DiCicco comes in with his girlfriend. And they have words, and he leaves, and she drinks some more, and she leaves at 3 a.m. It's pretty damn late. So here's the theory that the chauffeur dropped her off in front of the cafe. She had to walk up like that. That. Please tell me y'all have seen it. There's like an archway over the highway where you can walk from the ocean over to the cafe.
Right.
Does anybody pull that up?
Yeah.
Probably not. She did that, and she was banging on the door, and Roland had locked it. It wouldn't let her in. And because she was late and drunk. So she decides to hike up. I mean, if you can imagine, it's 400 and some steps. 400, up those steps to her garage. Because the neighbors supposedly heard her beating on the door, and he was telling her to sober up or whatever. She said, I'm going to another party. She hiked up those stairs, and it is a hike. And it was freezing cold. She had an evening gown on and a mink in her shoes. And so the one theory is that he followed her. She got in her car to start it, which was a very loud roadster. Loud. And he locked the door, shut the doors and locked them so she couldn't get out. And she, the theory is she was so drunk she just didn't turn the car off because she wanted to get warm, and she died of carbon monoxide poisoning with underlying suicidal thoughts or something like that. It is all right, crazy. But I went and looked at I went to look. Let's see. It was it was their paper there. The article is from like a couple days after the death. Let's call it a death. And it went. Man, I wish I could pull it up. I had it already. It had. All right, so the maid went up there. All right, so this is a Friday night, right? Or Saturday night. The maid comes in Monday morning. Her job was to get the car. She would be let off way up that hill where Rollins' wife lived. Put the car, bring it down to the apartment, and go in. All right, so she opened the door. There's Thelma. Slumped over, bloody. I think a tooth was missing. Just a horrible thing. And then I think I heard you say that her mother pulled up and said, my daughter's been murdered.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you even know that? I don't even know that.
I
So
don't
there's
know.
rumor. I mean, I don't know how this woman knew that.
Maybe my thought was maybe she was worried about some of the dangerous men that her daughter liked to marry and date, and that was
Yeah.
her first thought. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that that was true, although I think that she was murdered. I don't think it was suicide or an accident. It's just too suspicious to
No,
me.
I don't think it was suicide either because she had gone out and bought Christmas presents. Christmas presents,
Oh.
wrapped Christmas presents were in the trunk of the car. So
Yeah.
also, and in this 1936 paper article, on Sunday, one of the I guess the producer's wife was having a little cocktail party. Thelma called her. She says called her that Saturday and said either she wouldn't be able to be there or she would. I can't remember. I had it pulled up. And then at another, because we have the Please and Pet, that she ate nothing at Trocadero at the Saturday night party. She didn't eat anything. She just drank.
Right.
So
Right.
then,
So Tawana
yeah,
had asked about that in the chat that there, and we had talked about this a little before, that they found peas and carrots in her stomach, but that was not served in the
right.
restaurant
It
that she was
wasn't
in. So
served
where
at the
did they?
restaurant. And to everyone's knowledge, that she didn't eat anything. She was on a liquid diet that day. Yogurt. Because look, if she had a potato clause in her contract that if
Right.
she gained over 10 pounds, they could just let her go.
Right.
Right.
So she was heavy on amphetamines. She also drank. The drinking caused her to bloat. It was like a vicious circle. And by then, the mob was in Hollywood big time. Selling drugs, gambling, prohibition had been over for a little bit. So they were losing their money in bootleg whiskey, alcohol. They had to find it somewhere else. So they found it in the actors guilds and directors guilds, and just plain old drugs, prostitutes, stuff like that. They had to scramble quickly to figure out how to make up that money they've been making.
Mm.
So I mean, she was like known as a party girl, and she lived up to it. I love her. I would like to have down with her. She looked like she was fun.
Yeah.
Didn't say that. I like the rumors. Rumors were that she was receiving death threats by some unknown person, and they wanted $10,000. She was supposed to meet with the DA that Monday or
Yes.
Tuesday, and no one knows what they were discussing. Then we have the Lucky Luciano. You'll put a you'll put a glam thing over my dead body. He says we can arrange that. So I read the book that I read was Hot Toddy, and it's by Andy Edmonds.
Who is a woman?
Right, is a woman. And this has been, people were saying that Lucky Luciano wasn't even in Hollywood then. It was, elsewhere. Other people said he got on a plane really early and got the hell out of there. So, I mean, who knows? Was it suicide? No. I don't think it was suicide. Was it Rollins, locking that door and then her dying? Supposedly, they said, he went back to, oh, here's another thing. All right. That roaster's really loud, right? Above the garage is an apartment. And in that apartment, their accountant lived there. And he reported hearing nothing and smelling nothing. You're in an apartment right above a loud car enclosed, and you don't hear nothing and you don't smell anything. That's suspect to me. I thought, no, because I think he was the one. There's so many different stories. Like this girl wrote this book, and it was heavy on Luciano being the killer. And then you read another one, and it'll say she committed suicide. And then you read another one, and it'll say Ron West did it. So it really was a, wait a minute, I'm sorry, fast to catch. The ex-husband, the cat, the Chico. I don't know what your question was. I'm sorry. What was your question? Anyway, all right. So, and then, all right. So the woman, the little wife said that absolutely, she knows Thelma called her Saturday or Sunday to tell her she wouldn't be at the cocktail party. People supposedly saw her in an open vehicle. Which, why would that be open? It was so cold. But anyway, with a dark-haired man. Another guy that worked at a deli or a restaurant said he absolutely saw her riding by Sunday as well. So the coroner says she died early Saturday morning, late Friday and early Saturday morning. She's been there 12 hours. That's what he said. But these people have seen her. They've seen her. The wife talked to her of the cocktail party. The guy who knew her very well, at the little diner said he absolutely went by there. That's where they think the peas and carrots came from. I don't know how quick peas and carrots take to digest. I know potatoes take a long time. I know this is so gross to even talk about that, but I know that it takes them a while. So
I would think less time than meat or something. Yeah, more starchy. I don't know.
I don't know. So I think she was absolutely alive on Sunday. Too many people talked to her far.
Right.
It had. Did Luciano have somebody busting out of the dark as soon as the chauffeur dropped her off? I don't know. It's very hard. The only thing I know that is not going. I know she couldn't have killed herself. I really do. I know she couldn't.
Yeah.
Things were going good.
I don't think she killed herself either.
No, I said, we can rule that out right away. The DA, that was a very corrupt DA. If you know anything, like, oh God, every DA in LA was corrupt up until probably last week. Just corrupt. So, did the DA call Lucky Luciano, say she wants to come in here and talk to me? And Lucky go, oh, yeah, we got to take care of that. Was Rollins. The hell, I even thought about the damn accountant. It's who had a reason to kill her? I don't think. Oh, help me! Help me! Who do you think did it, Iridium? Hello? Oh my God! Y'all can't hear me again.
I'm here. I was thinking. I'm split. I would say either Roland West or Lucky Luciano. That's my guess. I think she did not. I don't think she killed herself, and I don't think it was an accident. But which of those two? I don't know.
I don't know either, because I believe, it was a very weird relationship her and Rollin had. And, he was still married to his wife, who lived up the hill. Oh, God, it makes me mad I lost all this stuff. If y'all can Google it, though, I hate to tell you to do that, but you Google it, it'll show that height of stuff. The wife lived up there, and I got to see the apartment, too. The apartment was absolutely darling, and it absolutely had 2 pocket doors right in the middle of it. And they're actually, somebody's actually redoing the cafe. It was just sold. They're redoing it. There's a guy on YouTube called
Jordan the Lion.
Yes, he got to go in there.
Yes,
And there's another one. There's a woman that's got a blog. I had her, but I was going to give her credit. She actually has photos of the apartment. When Jordan the Lion went up there, it was confusing because he was saying that huge octagon was the apartment, and it wasn't. That's what supposedly Luciano wanted to turn into a gambling den. Their apartment's actually over to the side, but that was such an interesting thing when he went to look at that. And then there was a blog by somebody who had photos of it. It was just darling. But Roman West never worked after this. And it comes in a time where America was so disgusted with Hollywood. They had one after another, scandals. You had Olive Thomas, who was married to Mary Pickford's brother. Very popular silent film. I think she died in 1920. They had gone for a second honeymoon, and old Jack was, they were in Paris, and they were drunk and drugged up. And Jack was being treated with a topical solution of mercury or something to treat his syphilis, his chronic syphilis sores.
What?
Yeah. And she went into the bathroom. He was drunk. She went into the bathroom drunk, and she opened it and drank it.
What was it again?
It was mercury bichloride, something like that. So it took her 5 days. Olive Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it took her 5 days to die.
Whose mercury did she drink?
She drank, her husband was Jack Pickford, which was Mary Pickford's brother.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were on the rocks, and so they said, we're taking a second honeymoon, we're going to Paris. And these two, Olive was very popular. And Violet, thank you. And they were just chronic drug users, alcoholics, and he was passed out, and she went into the bathroom, and why she took the top off of that and drank it, I have no idea, but it didn't even cure the sores, though. It was not a cure. Back then, if you had syphilis, you died from it. It went to your brain. But so she died. And she was also good friends with Mabel Norman, another huge star. Then we had Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle in September 1921, who had a huge party because he had just signed a $1 million deal. First one ever. Everybody headed to San Francisco. He was going to throw a party. A woman came. A lot of women came, but one woman in particular, Virginia Rapay, came. She was drunk, wasn't feeling well, because back then it was actual bathtub gin, But she ended up dying. Fatty Arbuckle was charged with her murder. That they said that he raped her, and that he was so huge it burst her bladder. And other people said that he used a champagne bottle. That he had 3 trials, and literally found not guilty, and then finally just acquitted. It was was it hung? I can't remember. But he never really worked again. Then you have William Desmond Taylor, who was a producer, director. He was shot. There were 3 suspects. Mabel Norman, who had just seen him. Mary Miles Minter, who was an 18-year-old little starlet who he was having sex with. And Charlotte Silby, who was Mary Miles Minter's mother. That's still unsolved. We'll discuss that. Then we had Wallace Reed, who was another big star, He had a horrible accident. Um, they prescribed him morphine. He became addicted to it. He ended up dying in a, because back then they didn't have any. Oh, you can't hear me?
It sounds better.
That. Okay. Anyway, they didn't have drug rehabs back then, so they put him in a sanitarium where he ended up dying trying to get off morphine. And then we have in 1935 Bugs B. Berkeley. And if people have ever seen a Bugs B. Berkeley film, you know it. He did these huge musicals on a scale like Ziegfeld, Ziegfeld. They were huge productions. But he was a drunk, and he ran into some people. He killed 2, injured 5. He was going to trial. He ended up being 2 hung juries, and then they acquitted him. But he did it. I mean, he freaking killed him. And then we have Thelma Todd. So Hollywood was reeling. People were gonna protest. Nobody was going to the movies. Y'all clean it up. And then we have Thelma, who was on drugs. I mean, she was on amphetamines, bit of an alcoholic, and loved bad boys. Hey, Rosebud. So then we have little meek little Wally, who I don't understand. How, if you love these gangsters and bad boys, what the hell are you seeing in Raw and West? I've never understood it. Who was married at that? So, suicide, no. Yes. And they also did a blood alcohol on her. I can't remember what it was. Pretty high, that I thought. But she'd been drinking out 12 hours like a corn. Oh, I don't know what alcohol does in your system. Does anybody know what alcohol does in a dead person? Because her blood alcohol was really high.
It stays for a while. I guess it degrades over time.
Yeah. I always thought that carbon monoxide, you don't just go to sleep. Your body flashes. Your body, even when people try to kill themselves, your body is going to try to stop it. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend that killed himself that way, and it was not a pretty scene. He didn't just go to sleep. He was fighting, and then, obviously you can't move.
Yeah.
So I know it's violent. That could be where her breathing in blood. And, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Weren't there conflicting reports about her injuries? That I read that some people had reported that she had broken ribs, that she looked like she had been beaten. And then the official report said she had a little blood on her bottom lip, and that was it.
No, yeah, the coroner said no injuries. There was a blow jar. Oh, it's not me. Oh, it is.
Teresa, maybe some background noise or some.
I do?
You have a fan that's oscillating?
No, I don't.
It's a funny sound.
It's a computer fan?
Oh. Yeah, it sounds like a fan.
No,
I'm saying a lot of the stuff that I had saved up. If you know what I love to do screen sharing. I had all this really cool stuff popped out, and I was so pissed off. Go on, Catherine. I didn't hear anything from you, Catherine. My daughter's heckling me over here. She's heckling me. So anyway, I saw this one guy that said if Thelma Todd's mother thought that she had been murdered, really thought it, that she would have absolutely raised, she would have turned over hell. kind of believe that. I kind of believe that. And then people in this book that I read it a long time ago, but I still remember it very clearly. Almost like George Reeves' mother. All of a sudden, she just went away. Much like George Reeves' mother when he died, she insisted that he was murdered. She insisted this, and they could not blow her ass out of Hollywood for nothing. Then all of a sudden, when I guess she found out what happened, I don't know. We'll talk about that. That's a good one to talk about. All of a sudden, his mom just went away. Thelma Todd's mother was kind of the same way. So I'm wondering, was she paid off? Was she
Yeah,
paid
that's what I would
to just
wonder.
get alone? It's not going to be so. But Roland West actually, let's see, he divorced his wife about 2 years later. After this death, he got married again. Never made another film. Ended up just to tear his health when he was having strokes, nervous breakdowns, and became a recluse. And on his deathbed, he said, "I killed Thelma." But the other things he was saying on the deathbed wasn't, he wasn't making any sense. So I'm wondering, does he think he killed her? Did he think he killed her by not opening that door and her going all the way up there and whatever? I mean, did he think that? This is a hard one. I mean, Iridium solved the Black Dahlia. Okay, she solved it. And like it out. It was done. We might need more work on this. We might need to take a field trip.
Yeah.
The stairs aren't there anymore. But if you do watch that, Jordan the Lion, he walks up, he goes in it, and it's still like the original doors and the original glass. And, like stained glass, the wood, oh, geez, it's just gorgeous. And I think they're restoring it to, the original. They're not gutting it. But when he made the walk from, it's just a very confusing complex. Very confusing. But when he did it, it kind of made a little bit of sense, even though he had the apartment wrong. Wasn't that? That's not where it was. My daughter Catherine agreements. Oh, Will be. You know what? I actually got a new vacuum cleaner, and I've been playing with that thing. I'll just go get on the photo just to vacuum it up. Yeah, it sucks in a good way. I love getting a new vacuum cleaner. I'm having a ball. So, Teresa, what do you think, dear?
I think that I'm torn.
Me too. Which way are you leaning?
Um, I'm probably, it's more exciting to think she was murdered. The whole peas and carrots thing bothers me. She didn't eat at the Trocadero.
Yeah.
Her mother lived not too far from where she died. If she could walk up all those stairs to that garage, why didn't she go to her mom's?
Well, that's a very good point because I cannot explain to you, and if I go through my history, I might be able to pull up. Those steps are no joke. It is steep. It's a 400-foot, side of a damn mountain. It is no joke. So to do that, one drunk. I mean, even though, last time I got drunk in the cold, I really don't remember that. But I can remember being drunk at dinners, and I never sobered up once I walked outside. So, oh, well, the cold probably woke her up. No, I probably didn't. Uh, she would have gotten a little angry, knocking on that damn door and him not letting her in. That might have, but cracking up those steps, there had to be frost on it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see her do it. Obviously, she did it. Then I'm thinking, is she running from someone? Well, it's so many conflicting reports and so many, damn, the autopsy couldn't even get it right. From what the police observed for the body and what the coroner observed, it's like, are you sure you had the same body? Because it's not sounding right. But that happened a lot.
And do we even know that she died from carbon monoxide poisoning, as corrupt as all these people were?
Now, there's a thought. It would have been the most obvious thing. And when they put underlying suicidal tendencies, I read this book and I looked at everything and I didn't see anywhere where she had ever attempted to kill herself.
Right.
So I don't know where that came from. See, it's like who's giving people the information. I don't know. You're going west, probably hooting and crying. I don't know. I'm gonna try to find my history because I want people to see this house. The hike up there. I'm telling you what, it's always bothered me is why in that damn little account, and he was a little bald if he was. I don't know if he was married. I don't know, but you're going to hear a 8-cylinder car start up that you're living over, and you will smell something if it runs out of if it runs, did he see something once she got up there? He told, but I don't know whatever happened either. I don't want to talk to him. Excuse me, family. Shut the hell up. Trying to sound smart over here. my son is looking at me very oddly.
Let me ask you something, Shannon. Did in one of the theories, Roland West allegedly found her in the garage dead and did not call the police, but he did call a friend who was a fixer or something?
Yes.
Do you know who that was?
It would have to be, she was with Paramount. I think she was still at Paramount then. I don't know if it would have been like Eddie Mannix or Howard Strickland. I read that. I also read there was a rumor that Roland killed her on his yacht. And then came back, into port and dragged her up there and put her in the car. I can't see that. I mean,
I can't either.
Stories, and now obviously they're all dead. So that's what I like to read. Not necessarily like I like to read autobiographies, but I like to read them of people who aren't famous. Like there's a book I have. Ruth Gordon's husband wrote it, and he was a big director, and it tells you about everybody. You get a little bit about him, and I mean, I got the dirt reading books by, excuse me, family. They're talking in the living room, just fuck it. Just talk. I ain't seen my son in 2 hours. I can tell you won't here trying to help me fix it. But I don't know. I'm sorry. So yeah, there was so many rumors, and actually, I can't remember what that boat's name was, but that boat had a very bad. I think like there he goes. The boat that they say he accidentally killed her in on purpose actually ended up disappearing with 20 people on it, never to be found again.
Now that I hadn't heard.
Yeah, I know, weird. Oh, look, I am practically reading bathroom walls. I'm doing so much of my my research. I was practically back there in time reading the bathroom walls. Shut up, fool! I love you, boy. Y'all really, are you two honestly going to go to Martinsville and camp out? Because I can tell you, my son but y'all will be pulling up in the driveway because he will not do it. Oh my God. My son and I are going to go camp out at Martinsville next race. It is supposed to be like, oh, I don't know, 30 degrees. My
Oh
son
Lord.
never ever been either slept in his bed, my bed, or one and a half person recliner. I don't think he's on the floor, on the ground. I don't think he's gonna have if you get I ain't got nothing to say about it. I ain't gonna I'm sorry. Let my friends ruin this, but I mean I'm telling you it's not gonna work out at all. At all. So, in my car? Oh, there I go sleep in my car. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. Teresa thinks she doesn't know what she thinks.
I think she was probably murdered because no way would she climb those stairs, go to that garage and get in that car when she could have just made a right hand turn. I think it was a right hand turn. I think at the top of that hill and went to her mom's.
Right, to her mom's. Iridium thinks murder or accident.
Murder.
Yeah, murder.
Yep.
I am going to see your two murders and raise you. Um, you know what? I, I had it all pulled up too. I keep saying that it was all put up. I think that the maid, when she got there, she had to remove the lock. So somebody locked her in there.
But
You know, she think it was odd.
but when the maid got there, didn't the maid say the door was partially open?
Oh, she might have. I'm gonna have to go back because I even saved the article telling me about an article, that was done in the 30s, but no, it was the actual article, and I was reading it. It was very interesting. But you know what they never mention in the damn thing is the damn accountant above them who absolutely would have smelled exhaust, carbon, well, he wouldn't have smelled carbon monoxide, but he just smelled the exhaust. So,
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to try to see if I can find it.
I think she was murdered.
I think she was probably murdered. But I don't know by who. I don't
I don't
know
know
by
what. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. All right, so if she was murdered, who did it? Going to y'all.
Well, who are the people with the best motives?
Right.
I mean, there were, a number of mob-related people. We know that mobsters wanted a share of her business, and she did not like gambling and didn't want them involved. Um, there's some complex romantic situations
To
that
say
could
the
have
least.
been,
To say
yeah,
the least.
there could have been, jealousy involved. People, could have been a crime of passion that got because of who she was and who her ex was. And I mean, like you said, the studios were already sort of under this cloud of, um, they just, the reputation had been tarnished so much that something could have been, an act. When I say an accident, not that she accidentally inhaled too much, she accidentally fell asleep or something, but
Yeah.
that she got into a physical fight with her ex or something. Something went too far and she ended up dead. And it was cleaned up because of the studios, because, there had already been too many scandals. There are definitely motives, people with motives, and to not just kill her, but to cover up what happened.
And Pat DeChico had already been involved in one of Wallace Berry, who was, if you've ever watched, gosh, he went from Silence to two movies, Ugly Sin. He was in Dinner at 8. He played Jean Harlow's husband. He was in trying to see Red Dust. He was in a lot of them. Also, I'm married to Boris Watson. Anyway, he was a horrible drunk. And so it was Wallace Berry, Pat Chico, and Pat Chico's uncle, his last name was Broccoli. I am not kidding. There was a comedian in there, and they got into a fist fight. Wallace Berry beat that man to death.
Oh, right. I read
Yeah,
about that.
and the fixers came in and fixed it. So see, Pat Chico was not a little choir boy that he had a history of just horrible things. I don't know. And then Thelma, I think her love of mobsters and bad boys came from her dad. 'Cause he was a politician back in Massachusetts, and he dealt with them. I mean, she just have you ever? Well, my grandma used to say this about me. My grandmother used to say, "Shannon, you roll, basically like I'm burning the candles at both ends." But she says, you only get a little bit of fire in your life. You don't have to burn it out so quick. Meaning, basically, she was telling me to straighten the hell up. My life was going. It looked, Thelma, everything was up for. Go on now, my cat is up here. Everything was up for. I'm trying to think of who do I think did it? I don't want to talk to that. I am still stuck on that damn accountant. What did I think she found some kind of nonsense in the books. Like somebody was getting paid off. But that's what they did then. The mobsters would come in and charge you XXX for them to wash your tablecloths. They're extorting you, basically, with the service. So did she see that? Did she figure that out? Uh, I don't know. She never made it to that DA. So I think that the DA called Lucky. I think Lucky probably liked her a lot, but Lucky he had business. He had business to take care of it. He got rid of her. That's what I think.
I think it was the mobsters too, because with all the fixers that they had in Hollywood at that time, I don't even trust the autopsy report. She could have been strangled and we wouldn't even know it.
Well, there's a Lupe Valdez was a little Latin, a little Latin actress. She was in a lot of this like Spitfire Goes to wherever. She like a serial type movie thing back then.
Uh-huh.
She dated Gary Cooper and almost killed him
How
several
did she
times.
almost kill him?
She shot at him
Oh,
when he was
wow.
going to there. She hit him in the head with stuff. She ended up marrying Jar, and he would come to work when he was working on Tarzan, ripped to shreds.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, they all broke up obviously, and she had met this man, and she had become pregnant, and he had wobbled on marrying her. She was a devout Catholic, right? So she was angry because he was going to marry her in name only, and not just send her over the edge. She had a party that a little get together, not a party, little get together, had all her favorite food, like some wine. When everybody left, she went upstairs. She had doves in the room, uh, candles burning. She put a beautiful negligee on, laid on the bed, and waited. Took second off and waited to didn't quite work out that way because the spicy food plus the second all made her sick. So she ended up having to get out of the bed, threw up all the way to her bathroom in her nice white carpet. And people say that she died with her head to the toilet. I don't know if that's true. But how Hollywood wrote it, because like Hedda Hopper was there, and she said, "Oh, uh, it's not funny. Yeah, it's not funny, but oh, she looks so virginal, like she just drifted off to a sweet sleep." And I'm like, but come on now, you just stepped over probably a couple of dead doves and some puke, saying she looked like here I go to bed. Stop it. So, these not just with autopsies and how things are formed, I love it because it is never the truth. It's never the truth. And I think that, I'm pretty sure that corner, if I look him up, I guarantee you he was held in somebody's pocket. Everybody knew that. I was like, everyone okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
There we go. So I don't know. What do y'all think out there in chat land? Who thinks what? I will be fine. I mean, Lucy planned this to be discovered. I mean, it was going to be beautiful. She had her favorite flowers all around her. Just I'm sure it would have been a beautiful sight had she not. had she not. That's why I was saying before that if you think, like my friend who committed suicide with the carbon monoxide. I mean, you think you're just going to lay down and you just go to sleep. That's not the way it works. So, no. Why?
I mean, suicide, that is the way a woman would do it. But
exactly,
I'm not buying it.
That's the way I would do it. Or, my husband's got to get ice right now. Hold on. Everyone pause. My husband's got to get ice. Please do it. Yeah, sorry, my husband's still trying to get ice. I feel like it's
purposely done. I'm coming in to get you guys. I am doing it on purpose. I'm coming into the kitchen to get ice.
Okay, I am doing it on purpose. All right, just speak with things today.
I don't give them.
I'm going to make myself a little room in the basement. I'm going to make it my own. I'm so glad everybody came back after the 33rd try. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am, and I'm so sick that I lost all my reference stuff because it was very interesting. It was, Kathy. Now everybody's in the fucking engine.
I'm getting it.
Really? Was the dog? Bring it into. Everybody's behind me in the kitchen now. Wait. I know. It's time. So what do we want to do next, girls? Who do we cover? Who do we cover? Do we do George Reeves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
George Reeves. Let's do George Reeves. You want to go a week from tonight, or you want to give us a little time?
I might need to do some research. I saw the movie with Ben Affleck.
But you know what?
I need to do some more research.
That was actually very true to the book Hollywood Kryptonite. that I read.
Oh,
It was
okay.
probably one of the best represented, book to film. So yeah, you can watch that. You find out a lot, and like in the book, you don't get an answer.
Yeah.
You don't get an answer. So George Reeves, please let them know. Right. Sassy, I was going to do that Monday night, and then I think somebody went on and threw a fit, and the whole thing went which made me cancel my Walking Dead. I was going to do it Monday. So I think Monday we're going to do the Walking Dead night. And I don't care who's kicking and screaming on the floor. So then I had to put it off from last night because I was trying to show a little, show a little whatever. And then I found out that one of them didn't do it. They were going to do it tonight. And I was like, y'all got it. Sorry. Sorry, people. I don't have to, And then tomorrow night was ladies' night. So we will, well, let's say Friday, let's discuss favorite Halloween horror films.
Ooh.
House on Haunted Hill.
Please let the chat know. Walking Dead night will be Monday night.
What time?
So, I like 7.
7 Eastern.
If that, hey, Kayla.
I am behind on The Walking Dead, so I may skip that one because I'm going away this weekend.
You gotta sit there and look pretty like you do. That's what we're gonna have you do. You will sit there and look pretty.
Oh, for God's sake.
If any of y'all want to come on panel and discuss it, DM me, put it in the comments. DM me on the Twitter, and you can do it. My hard fans, and we only have 2 more episodes with Rick.
Are you for sure about that?
AMC announced it at the end of the show last week. 2 episodes.
They better give him a good death. They better not have it be something stupid.
My son told me that he read that Rick is not getting killed off, that they're going to leave it open for him to come back.
I'm thinking and I said it first to everyone, that Jadis knew exactly who was in that damn helicopter. So she got it. I am wondering, do they take Rick?
Oh, that's
not her.
Yeah, because my son said he read that Rick is not dying. They're going to leave it open.
Down to be. Yes, baby, Eastern Standard. Yeah, I'm hoping that he just jumps up on that thing, and he still has Judith. I think he knows Judith is in pretty good hands. And if Rick thinks he's got, I don't know. I hope he just gets in the goddamn helicopter. I cannot watch him die.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I am upset that Negan. Well, I'm not upset. And I'm not loving him. They're going to see Negan this week. I keep on thinking it's like Friday night because I was thinking a little while ago, man. Walking Dead's almost coming on. I thought it was like Friday, and here I am only on Wednesday.
Now I won't be here Friday.
Oh, you won't?
No, I'm going to Michigan.
All right. Sassy Cat, you want to come on? Sassy Cat, would you like to come on Friday night? Anybody?
And I hate that because I love scary movies.
Well, we gotta. Let's see, how many Octobers Fridays do we?
This is Friday.
No.
This is the last one.
Yeah.
Before Halloween.
Is it?
Well, before the end of the month. The end of the month.
We'll talk about it. We can never fail. of movie. We won't abandon it. It does feel like a Friday, Kayla, right? I mean,
Great. Sassy's going to come on.
yeah, so I'm over here now. That's Victoria. Okay, well, all right. Oh, good, Sass. Like I said, anybody else, if y'all want to be and we will discuss our favorite movies, horror, and probably a little drama. Just try to get my son, I don't know. And as always, thank you to my beautiful co-host,
Thank
Ariam
you.
Teresa. And thank y'all for hanging in with me while I was trying to my technical difficulties. And oh my
And
gosh.
thanks for the peanut gallery.
Yes, and thank my daughter for the peanut gallery, where she just help. And
I give up content.
I love you guys. And I think
Love you
coming.
too.
All right, I'll see y'all Friday. Yeah, Friday. Okay, see you Friday.
That's good.
Bye, all.
Bye. Love you.